Hello and welcome to anyone already on the stream. I'm just clicking a few last buttons to get us live on both YouTube and Facebook. I will be with you in a short moment. Well, good afternoon and welcome to a live broadcast from Plains TV studio. I'm what have I got on my telly behind me there? Oh, my TV behind me is threatening to switch itself off. Glitch number one of the day. Let's hope we keep it fairly on the rails. Hello, my name's Ian. I'm from Plains TV. Thought we'd just go through a few highlights from last year. I did one of these live broadcasts last week, just testing a bit of equipment that I've dragged in from our outside broadcast trailer. Doesn't seem like it's going to get very much use this year. So, at least not at events, I should say. So I figured I'd do a little live broadcast here each week. I'm trying to do it every Thursday on at 4 p.m. I'd like to do some at the weekends as well. We'll see how the various situations may or may not allow that. But if you do enjoy them, do make sure to give us a like and comment and let me know what you'd like to see on them. So at the moment I'm dragging out lots of exciting airshow action from the archive, and I'm going to play that for you in a moment. In fact, why don't we get started with some of that whilst we let other people join in on the live broadcast, and I can click a few buttons, make sure everything's working okay. So we're going back to Cosford Air Show last year, 2019, and we're kicking off with a rather exciting pyrotechnic display from the Army Air Corps Apache.
Now, without further ado, my pleasure to hand you over to Captain Dave Steer.
Thank you very much, Andy. Sirs, mums, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. My name is Captain Dave Steer, and on behalf of the Attack Helicopter Display Team, I'd like to welcome you to today's display of the British Army Apache. Apaches are flown by officers and soldiers of the Army Air Corps, the Army's aviation combat arm, and provide a key manoeuvre element in the UK's warfighting division and other high readiness formations. The aircraft is a mobile, lethal and sophisticated attack platform excelling in deep strike and close air support. With the aircraft in the distance to your front, we can simulate an Apache crew with call sign gunship out on a fighting patrol as they are tracked by a suspected enemy surface-to-air missile system known as a SAM. This year we're taking you inside the cockpit to listen to how the crew work together to combat a threat.
Gunship spiked. Static SAM 160 degrees, 3 kilometers. Radar acquired. Chaffing. Urgent target. Got a target. FCR. Tally target. Identified hostile SAM. 3.2 kilometers. Tip in 170. Action in missiles.
With the threat detected by the Apache's powerful radar, the rear seat pilot has handed the target to the front seat gunner in order to positively identify the threat visually with the cameras. The pilot must then position the aircraft for weapon release.
Heading 170, missile from the left rail, arcs clear, in constraint.
Flying the aircraft into position, the pilot has set the conditions for the front seat gunner to engage the target with a radar-guided missile.
It's always a bit of a challenge trying to pick up the explosions on camera too. See if we manage it at Cosford. Never sure where they're going to come from. At least not this early in the season. Just missed it. Not too bad. It's an excellent display this with Spyros.
Target, radar destroyed. Supporting armour and dismount scene. Re-attack from the east. Rocket to gun.
And there he comes.
The gunner identifies further enemy vehicles and calls for the pilot to reposition the aircraft for another strike, this time electing for a salvo of rockets, followed by high explosive 30mm cannon rounds. The target will be acquired in track by the gunner, providing a steering cursor to aid the pilot, who will aim and fire the rockets.
Tally, RMAF rockets are good. Action in rockets. Go co-op, match and shoot. Co-op rockets, match and shoot. Firing. Action rockets, action in gun, 10 round burst. Valid range. Firing.
Converting speed to height, the pilot minimises the threat of ground fire, this time with a 360-degree wing over, making tracking and predicting the aircraft's flight difficult for an enemy attempting to engage. The Apache, of course, usually is operated in pairs and can be teamed with other platforms, such as the Wildcat battlefield reconnaissance helicopter, also operated by the Army Air Corps, forming a critical component of the land battle. The aircraft with a shoulder-launched surface-to-air missile. The threat call is communicated within the cockpit, instructing the pilot to conduct another rocket strike from alternate attack heading.
Great, command pass 12 o'clock. Flares. We attack from Charlie 2. Target rockets.
The crew then work together to update a set of pre-engagement checks, ensuring all systems are configured correctly for another strike.
Arcs clear, clearance is self-defense, acquisition source Tango 03, site is TADS, rocket selected, go co-op. Roger, going co-op, 4 rockets for effect, weapons armed and action. Deselate nav range, match and shoot.
And if you're just tuning in, wondering what all those people are doing stood in a field together, this is of course a replay from last year. It's RAF Cosford Air Show 2019. Thanks for joining us on the live broadcast over on Facebook and YouTube, and thank you to those who are pointing out that my microphone was off a moment ago. I've just dragged in all the equipment last week into my office, and refreshing my memory. A lot of this kit I haven't used since July, so bear with me a little bit, and enjoy the show.
Enemy soldiers from a dug-in position, bringing a heavy machine gun to bear in the aircraft's direction.
Good effect on target. 4 enemy vehicles destroyed. Radar threat eliminated. Target. Pilot helmet sight. Dismount HMG. My gun. Auto range. Firing.
Using his helmet-mounted monocle as a sight, the pilot slaves the gun to his eye line and engages simply by looking at the target and pulling the trigger.
Good spot. Target rounds. All targets destroyed. Continuing mission.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the tactical demonstration of how Apache crews work together to operate and fight their aircraft. Crews trained to do this in all weathers, by day and night, often working at extremely low level. The attack helicopter display team is made up from operational crews from frontline units of the attack helicopter force based at Wattisham in Suffolk. Today we have Major Tim Pittaway at the controls, with Staff Sergeant Mark Skelding in the front seat, co-pilot gunner position. Establishing in high hover 800 feet, you can see the Apache's powerful hover performance. Tim will initiate a dive with 80 degrees nose down with cyclic stick before rolling through 90 degrees whilst almost vertical. Tim is the senior flying instructor with the attack helicopter force. He has over 4,000 flying hours, including over 1,200 in the Apache and 1,000 in the Wildcat. He has operational experience in Afghanistan and Northern Ireland. A wing over is a tactical return to target manoeuvre flown in a manner to use the energy and momentum of the aircraft to bring it quickly into weapons release parameters. A wing over is flying at 90 degrees angle of bank using all 3 controls to balance the aircraft round the turn. As they return to crowd centre for a move we like to call the bunt. The bunt sees the aircraft pitch from 90 degrees nose up to 90 degrees nose down at the highest point of the manoeuvre. As well as offensive actions, helicopters and fixed wing of the Army Air Corps can also provide reconnaissance, direction of artillery and mortar fire, command support to ground units and tactical mobility, such as positioning forces, conducting resupply or extracting casualties. The majority of the Corps is held at high readiness for operations to deploy alongside either the Army's division, the Air Assault Task Force, as well as commitment to supporting special forces both in the UK and around the world. The transition to the Echo model Apache will ensure that the Corps will continue to operate the best attack helicopter in the world. A significant update to the longbow that you see today, the AH-64E Apache Guardian, will be fully integrated with the new Royal Navy Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carriers to continue providing a vital land and maritime strike capability. The Apache has 4 weapons pylons mounted on the stub wings. These stations can be fitted independently with either CRV-7 rocket launchers, Hellfire missile rails or external fuel tanks for increased range and endurance. As you can see today, Gunship has been configured with a mixed loadout of rockets and missiles. Each rocket launcher houses 19 70mm folding fin rockets, while the missile racks can hold up to 4 radar or laser guided Hellfire missiles. These pylons will automatically articulate through 19 degrees to keep the weapons in firing constraints for as long as possible. Both the rockets and missiles can engage targets out to ranges of 8 kilometres, while the powerful 30mm cannon mounted underneath the fuselage can fire high explosive rounds out to beyond 4 kilometres with a cyclic rate of 625 rounds a minute. As you watch Gunship perform sideways laterals, you can see the Apache's impressive hover performance at a representative all-up weight. Above the main rotor disc, you'll notice the distinctive shape of the aircraft's fire control radar. This radar is able to scan out to 8 kilometres, detecting over 1,000 targets, prioritising them and offering the pilot 16 simultaneous firing solutions through the aircraft's weapons processors. Along with target detection and missile guidance, the radar is also capable of mapping the terrain ahead of the aircraft in flight to assist in navigation and terrain avoidance at night or in bad weather. On the nose of the aircraft is the Target Acquisition Designation Site, or TADS, housing the day TV and infrared cameras, as well as a laser for ranging and missile guidance. A further infrared sensor mounted above the TADS can be slaved to the pilot's helmet position, allowing flight at night in pitch black solely with reference to the image projected into his right eye from the helmet-mounted monocle. As seen earlier, this helmet sight can also be used to control the position of the gun. The Army Air Corps was formed from the glider and air observation post squadrons of World War II and have played a key role in every major UK operation ever since. These modern helicopters are, as the aircraft were then, commanded, flown and supported by soldiers who were trained to fight predominantly in the land environment. The Army Air Corps continues to actively recruit both officer and senior non-commissioned aircrew, making the Army the only service that offers a flying career to both officer and soldier pilots. Staff Sergeant Mark Skelding is one of our soldier pilots. In the front seat today, he joined the Army Air Corps from the ranks of the Royal Horse Artillery, transferring from within the Army to complete his flying training. Completing another 180-degree return to target manoeuvre at the front, Tim now approaches head-on for another look at the 360-degree wingover. This move demonstrates the awesome power of the 2 turbomecha engines mounted either side of the fuselage. Each engine provides over 2,300 shaft horsepower, meaning together they produce more power than 4 Formula 1 racing cars. As the crew reset for the signature finale of the Apache display, we'd like to ask you to put your hands together and show thanks for our partners at Event Horizon for providing today's fantastic pyrotechnic effects. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're out capturing photographs today, this may be one that you'd like to take home with you, so please do have your cameras at the ready for a final time.
It's always a challenge on the live broadcast. Positioning cameras, you can see here we're not in the ideal position to pick up the wall of fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, the British Army Apache attack helicopter.
But we kind of got him.
So that concludes today's demonstration of the Army Apache helicopter. On behalf of the whole team, Major Pittaway, Staff Sergeant Skelding and Gunship will now perform the customary bow to thank you for your support. So please do give them a wave, put your hands together and to show your appreciation for their efforts today. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 Attack Helicopter Display Team.
It's a really excellently coordinated display, this, with
that you can visit us on social media for more team news and information on upcoming displays. Feel free to share your pictures of the day using the hashtag AHDT. It's appreciated by the team and indeed other followers of the pages. You can find us by searching Facebook and Instagram with Attack Helicopter Display Team, or on Twitter at AHDT. If you'd like to meet today's pilots, they will be available after they land at the Apache static display located at the base of the tower.
Yeah, don't go
We wish you
wandering
an
off to Cosford
enjoyable
to
rest of
see
your
them.
weekend, and as ever, we thank you for your ongoing support to the British Armed Forces.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, top stuff from the Attack Helicopter Display Team 2019. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
That was Andy Pawsey just giving his thanks to the team, the Apache team. As I say, a really nicely coordinated display that the military displays we get in the UK. The commentary is can be a mixed bag. That's probably a bit unkind of me to say, but what I'm saying is that these guys do it excellently. The coordination of the radio messages, the pyros, and obviously some spectacular I won't say aerobatics, but some aggressive manoeuvres from the Apache. It's always a real showstopper. Ice cream request for an ice cream van from Chris. Hello, Chris. Thanks for joining us. Space Dreams. Hello, guys. Who else have we got on here? Wow, someone from Uruguay. I spotted someone earlier saying, "No crowds, please. Stay apart." And of course, sensible advice. Although these shots that you're seeing are, of course, from 2019 from the Cosford show. Who else have we got over on Facebook? There's people over on Facebook. Interesting. So more people over on YouTube, which is my preference as well. But there we go. So we're looking back at 2019. Bit of airshow action from Cosford Air Show. I've got another little clip coming up here. This is all taken from our live broadcast, which was broadcast out on YouTube way back in June last year. So it's all live mixed. I can offer no more than brownie points to the first person to guess what the next display act is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've just got through to Red 1. They are trimmed out. They have tested the smoke system. It's time to put your hands together for the 2019 Red Arrows! Red 1 leads the aircraft over in big battle formation, the red, white and blue smoke trailing behind. As they pull up to the vertical, Red 1 calling the aircraft into short diamond. Over the top of the loop, 5,000 feet above us, it's Red 1 leading the formation. That's squadron leader Martin Pert. Martin is a former Harrier and Typhoon pilot. He's previously instructed on the Hawk and is in his second year as Red 1. On the right of Red 1 in Diamond is Red 2, one of our new pilots for 2019. That's Flight Lieutenant Damo Green. Damo has previously flown the Hawk on 100 Squadron, and he joins the Red Arrows from the Typhoon Force. Now celebrating the first of those 50th anniversaries, Red 1 brings the formation in from the right-hand side in Apollo formation. Get those cameras ready for the Apollo roll. Upside down at 3,000 feet above us, Red 1 rolls the iconic Apollo shape. Reds 4, 5, 8 and 9 smoking as they go. Red 1 speaks to the other pilots with a very metronomic cadence on the radio. They're reacting to his voice rather than to the movement of his aircraft, which is ensures very straight lines and symmetrical formation shapes in the maneuvers. Well, as Apollo moves off to our left-hand side, the smoke comes back on. Red 1 has called them into Concorde formation. Concorde, that great feat of Anglo-French engineering, combining engineering excellence with a beautiful design. As the aircraft come towards you, you'll see the front aspect of Concorde. Red 6 and 7 forming the engines underneath, as if the aircraft was on approach to Heathrow.
Some really nice conditions. It brightened up in the afternoon at Cosford. This is 2019. It helps a lot to have a bit of contrast in the sky. We often talk about this, you know, blue sky would be nice, sunshine, which we've got here, but a bit of contrast in the sky really does help give some perspective to the movement of the aircraft. So, I mean, there, it's lovely stuff on the wide shot. Just the different tones of clouds. It sounds odd, and maybe I'm geeking out on filming airplanes, but that's kind of what I do. These are really nice conditions. If only we could orientate the airfield slightly differently so we get the sun behind us as well, that would be superb.
And he came to the Red Arrows having instructed on the Hawk T2 at RAF Valley. As Red 1 leads Signet off to the right-hand side, the smoke goes off, and he calls the aircraft into a very technically difficult formation position. Now flying with 6 aircraft, all in line abreast, Red 6 and 7 tucking in behind. It's time for Phoenix. On the left of Red 1 in Phoenix is Red 3, Squadron Leader Mike Bowden. Mike has previously done 4 years on the team, and he returns whilst David Simmons recovers from injury. Get those cameras ready, the colour is about to come on for Phoenix. As Phoenix moves off to our right-hand side, Red 1 is calling the aircraft into Lancaster formation. The Lancaster obviously most well known for its critical role in World War II, but as we think about the D-Day celebrations 75 years on, we remember that the Lancaster was also employed with decoy tactics during the Normandy landings. Red 1 bringing Lancaster in from the right-hand side. The nose lights will come on towards us. He'll ease the aircraft up, ready for the Lancaster roll.
Easing up. Smoke on. Go. And roll.
As Lancaster rolls inverted at 2,500 feet above us, you may think it's quite unusual for a Lancaster to be rolled. However, reputedly, the great test pilot Alex Henshaw rolled the Lancaster numerous times when he was testing them at Castle Bromwich. On the left wingtip of Lancaster as it moves off to our left-hand side is Red 5, Squadron Leader Steve Morris. Steve is a former Harrier and Tornado pilot. He's previously served on the Red Arrows and rejoins us for the 2019 season. Well, for those of you who are Red Arrows fans out there, you'll be aware of the next maneuver. It's the photographer's favorite. Celebrating the retirement of the frontline aircraft that has served with the Royal Air Force for 3 decades, having retired earlier this year to be replaced by the Lightning, it's time for Tornado.
Out, rolling, out. Smoke on. Go. 8 and 9, roll, keep
Aboard sings Red 9 as Red 8 and 9 put the coloured smoke on, rolling around the smoke of the other aircraft. Red 1 about to bank the formation to the left, changing smoke colour as they go. It's Tornado.
Bank. Now, time.
Smoke off go, whispers.
I think I'm right in saying that's the end of the first half of the display. I should have just left Adam up to tell us, but I thought it would be a opportune moment to say hello to anyone who's just joining us. Hello to Alex, and he says, thanks for doing this. It says, with 4 kids in the house, there's only so much you can take, and I can sympathise. And as I said to him, this is really only my excuse to get away from my 2. But if it provides some entertainment, then that's great. I'll welcome you again to our live broadcast. We're looking back at RAF Cosford Air Show 2019. This is a live mix that was broadcast live over the show weekend, or the show day. This is the red arrows, of course. I thought it was an interesting moment here halfway through the display to point out this is a 2-camera mix. There's probably a third camera that's static somewhere, but it's 2 cameras. I think it was myself and Father Adrian on camera. And this is the second half of the red arrows display is always a bit of a challenge. You obviously got aircraft coming from either direction, a lot of that, and a lot of coordinated manoeuvres that, okay, we've kind of got the gist of generally. We've recorded a lot, the reds a lot, but you do have to keep on your toes, and we do have a bit of a system for cameras going left and right, etc. I confess I haven't watched through this mix recently, but let's see how well we do at picking up the relevant aircraft at the relevant time.
As the 7 aircraft complete their palm, keep your eyes on red 6 and 7, staying low with their coloured smoke changing to white. On the right is red 6, on the left is red 7, red 6 being chased down by red 8, and red 7 being chased down by red 9. Red 6 on the right is Flight Lieutenant Toby Keeley. Toby is a former Tornado pilot and Hawk T2 instructor. He's in his 3rd and final year on the team. The aircraft now closing together, closing speed of over 700 miles an hour. They'll cross in front of us 100 feet apart in the Jippo Pass. Red 6 and 7 staying low, 4-point rolling down the line, reds 8 and 9 into the vertical. Keep your eyes on red 6 and 7 staying low. They're pulling hard into the turn. They'll face up back towards us before reversing the turn and crossing 100 feet apart in the Cyclone. As red 6 and 7 face up towards each other again, they're going to cross smoke paths in the Slingshot. Now look to your left-hand side. Here comes red 9. He's got his smoke on. Look out to the front right for the nose lights of Enid. An inverted V formation. Red 9 about to fly straight down the middle in the Goose. Red 9 for this year is Flight Lieutenant Dan Lowes. Dan is a former Typhoon pilot and weapons instructor. He'd like to say hello to his mum and dad, to John and Hilary, to Pete and Sal, and especially to Samara. As Red 1 leads the aircraft off to the left-hand side with a coloured smoke, it's about to change to white as they make way for the next manoeuvre. Look straight to your front for the nose lights of red 6 and 7. As they're running in straight towards us, they're pulling up into the vertical. It's time for one of our favourite manoeuvres. It's the Heart. The red smoke comes on, red 6 and 7 pulling away from each other as they create the Heart. Now coming down from the top right is red 8. Red 8 comes down to complete the spear. Today the Red Arrows would like to wish Becky Cohen a happy 18th birthday and to dedicate the heart to her. Now Red 6 and 7, having completed the heart, are coming back towards each other. Red 6 on the right, Red 7 on the left. Red 6 about to roll inverted. They'll cross 100 feet apart in the vice versa. Spearing the heart today was Red 8. That's Flight Lieutenant Chris Lyndon Smith. Chris is a former Tornado pilot. He's also flown the Hawk as an instructor and on 100 Squadron, and has served in the most number of positions on the Red Arrows, having flown as 2, 7, 6, 5, 4 and 8. Now look to your front left. Here come Enid as they're pulling up as 7 jets, the white smoke trailing. Red 1 pulling them up to the vertical. Get those cameras ready, get the lenses zoomed out. It's time for the vertical break.
Hold in the back now.
Break, break, go calls Red 1 for the vertical break. Well, as the smoke turns off from the vertical break, it's time for the synchro pair again, coming from the left and the right. Once more, they'll have a closing speed of over 700 miles an hour. They're going to cross in front of us 3 times in the carousel. As they cross, the coloured smoke will come on, the aircraft pulling 6G, the pilots fighting hard against the G-forces as they cross behind us. The smoke changing colour, forming a red and a blue half of the circle. As carousel completes to the left and the right, it's time to look straight ahead and to the right. Here comes Enid with their white smoke on, pulling up to the vertical, the white smoke changing to coloured, as Red 1 leads them in 2 barrel rolls in a snake-like pattern across the sky in the Python. As Red 1 completes the first of those rolls, the aircraft coming in from our front right, the coloured smoke is on. Each aircraft having 1 minute of red and blue smoke in addition to the 5 minutes of white smoke operated by buttons on the control stick. As the aircraft enter the second of those rolls, I'd like to say a big hello to Ian and Val. As Red 1 completes the second of those rolls, he's flying a formation known as Leader's Benefit, with Red 1 at the front, Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 all in line abreast behind him. As Python finishes to our left, it's time to look back for the right-hand side. As the rear section run in, Reds 6 and 7 about to roll inverted and fly inverted formation down the line. Reds 8 and 9 will roll around their smoke in the corkscrew.
8 and 9, roll, aboard!
Aboard calls Red 9 as the coloured smoke comes back on. Reds 8 and 9 rolling around 6 and 7. As Red 9 sings complete once more, Red 6 rolls the formation out in a right-hand turn, disappearing off. The smoke about to come off to make way for Enid. Look to your left-hand side, here comes Enid, the white smoke is on, the nose light's coming towards us. They're about to roll from the inside of the formation to the out in the rollbacks. Clear go, call 2 and 3, the signal for 4 and 5 to roll. Clear go, call 4 and 5 as Red 2 start their second rolls. This time Red 5 singing complete as the rollbacks finish off to our right-hand side. Well, as Enid clear off to our right-hand side, let's look straight ahead, see if we can find the nose lights of the remaining 4 aircraft. The smoke is coming towards us. 8 and 9 rolling around Red 6 and 7. Before they then roll themselves, it's time for the Jippo break. Red 6 and 7 once more staying low from the break. Their red and blue smoke changing to white as they move away from us, positioning for the last of their opposition maneuvers. On the left is Red 7, Flight Lieutenant John Bond. John was formerly an instructor on the Tucano. He displayed the Tucano that you saw earlier, and he's in his second year on the team. He will next year take over as Red 6 to lead the synchro pair. Here they come from our left and right once more with a closing speed of over 700 miles an hour. It's time for the double rolls. Red 6 and 7 complete their colourful double rolls to the left and the right. It's time to look straight ahead to pick up the nose lights of the remaining aircraft for the show finale. Red 1 leading the aircraft in towards us. The smoke about to come on. It is time for the spectacular Vixen break. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the Red Arrows!
I was going to say, it was a fairly tidy effort on our behalf. There's a little pan there at the end, which I'd be ticking. Well, I'm going to blame my father. It could have been me. Desperate to try and get some applause on the end of that video. Really nice to see the Reds there. It's a shame to hear that they're, what do they call it, exercise spring hawk or something, where they go off overseas to do their pre-season practice. I hear that's been cancelled. I guess we're all in the same boat, stuck at home. I trust you're all well. It's fantastic to see so much chatting going on over on YouTube. I was interested, Space Dreams, your chat about watching these air displays and then doing virtual ones. I'm quite interested in that. I haven't done a lot of flight sim flying in the last 15 years, but I'd like to do a bit more. It'd be interesting to know what you're flying in and what types. I think you said Tucano, which sounds like a neat display. If you've got a bit of video, maybe on YouTube or elsewhere, you can send us. We can have a look. Maybe we can intersperse a Space Dreams Tucano solo in amongst our airshow action, see if people notice. Who else have we got live? Lots of people chatting about flying over Cosford. I'm very jealous. Did a bit of that myself last year in the Sky Van. I haven't got any air-to-air material to show you here, but it was a lot of fun. Actually, last year it would have been the Caravan, and yeah, less said about the video results from that, the better. Skyvan's an excellent platform for air-to-air, but Cessna Caravan not so much. do I plan to upload any more from 2019? Yes, we do. So I've published. So we have a subscription website. So it's watch.plainstv.com. That's got all of our airshow action from 2019. I am working on them at the moment at British Airshows 2019. So that's a roundup of all the shows, and that will go out online as well. Part of going through this material now is picking out the best displays, and in fact one of the displays, in fact the next display I'm going to show you is probably going to go on there. It was a real nice one. Bit of in cockpit now that I think about it, which you won't see, but maybe in time. What are the questions? Can we get a Hurricane? That would be nice, wouldn't it? I haven't got that lined up, so not today, but maybe another day. Blue Havoc. Yes, it is a shame, Limey, about shows being cancelled, and that's kind of why I'm here. I figured we're going to end up with not making use of all of our live kits very much this year at all. So it's been dragged inside, and we're reliving some airshow action, which I'll no doubt do during the summer as well, pending finding something else to spend my time doing, not having any airshows to cover. What other questions did we have there on the live broadcast? This is a chat over on YouTube, by the way. If you're over on Facebook, do say hello as well. As I say, I've got one last little clip to show you. Show some Typhoon footage. Do you know, I'd love to show some Typhoon. I'll see if I can line some up. It probably won't be today, unfortunately, Mark. Maybe another day. Vulcan at some point. That is a must, Chris. What I might do is do next week a bit of an archive show. So go back into the archive a little bit of our live shows. Haven't got any immediate thoughts, but we've got some fantastic Vulcan material over the years. I'll have a little think about what we could do. So flip from maybe archive show one week, vaguely recent show the next. So we've got a few more 2019 shows that I'd like to go through as well at some point as well. But yeah, nice idea, Chris. Get some Vulcan out. Who else have we got here? Yeah, that's about it, I think. So what we'll do then, we'll cut back to our last little clip from RAF Cosford Air Show 2019. This is, as I say, part of our live mix, recorded or broadcast over on YouTube over the show weekend. I'm rebroadcasting it now because why not? We've got we've little else to do between us all. Well, me anyway. Let's get that lined up and take a look.
And running in now from the left, the FA-18C Hornet.
This is the Swiss Hornet display. A really superb display, fantastic conditions here. I'd have loved to have had a slow-mo camera at Cosford. Some of the cloud and the light was superb. I'm going to let him crack on and overpower me chatting to you.
The aircraft being flown in his third season as the Swiss Hornet display pilot by Captain Nicolas Rossier. And he wears on his flying suit a patch that says no AOA limits, no angle of attack limits. This is because of the new flight control software that the Swiss Hornets have got. And we'll see that demonstrated beautifully during this display, but for now a dirty pass, undercarriage and a rest to hook down, and a roll along the way in that configuration. The base present just a little low for Nicolas to put on his full high show, so he's opted at the outset initially for his medium show.
think he actually sticks to the medium show throughout, which I don't necessarily mind at Cosford. It's a relatively small airfield and it feels a lot tighter when you're not got some of the higher manoeuvres. That's my preference. Gosh, we've got some dirt on the wide angle lens there. Never mind.
Minimum radius turn on display centre, and another very, very hard pull up, and there a pushover on the top. An aircraft that performs air policing as its primary function in the Swiss Air Force. It is multi-role capable, though Switzerland currently has no air-to-ground weapons for its Hornets except for the aircraft's own gun. And it's easy to see why the Swiss went for the Hornet, a very agile aircraft to fly in the mountainous confines of that country. Oh, and they're a very, very hard, high angle of attack pull. Slowing the pace now, and once again the fly-by-wire control system on this aircraft coming into its own. Another good demonstration of high alpha, high angle of attack. This fly past with nose very, very high all the way down the line. The demonstration of what we mean when we talk about alpha. Repositioning now for a 4-point hesitation roll. The Swiss have got 3 squadrons of Hornets in service, 2 of them 17 and 18 at Payerne, the other one 11 at Meiringen. All the Swiss Hornets are flown by professional Air Force pilots as part of the Professional Aviator Corps. I say that because the Swiss Air Force famously has long had what they call militia pilots, part-timers who, for example, fly for the airlines in their day job. Those now concentrated on their remaining Northrop F-5 Tigers. Regular taskings for the Swiss Hornets include the protection of airspace around Davos during the World Economic Forum. And these aircraft often exercise with French and German fighters. And now the ability to go vertical. inverted, 2 inverted. And setting up now for a high-speed pass from right to left.
It's always a bit of a challenge following those fast passes, but that wasn't too bad. I think we did all right there. Some beautiful conditions at Cosford there with the sunshine, the dark clouds. It's pretty spectacular stuff. Hello to anyone just joining in. I see there's quite a few people just rolled in over on Facebook. Obviously the algorithms decided we're worth watching. Hello and welcome. We're rewatching the RAF Cosford Air Show 2019 live stream, or rather part of it. This is the Swiss F-18 display.
Before departure.
In fact, it sounds like his last pass. I'll let you enjoy that.
With indeed a wing wave, your chance to yourselves say goodbye to Captain Nicolas Rossier of the Swiss Air Force with the FA-18C Hornet. A magnificent display.
Well, I think magnificent is the word, and even Mother Nature is joining in by providing some incredible backdrops.
Superb, wasn't it?
We have rain in sight to the left-hand side, we have bright clear blue to the right, and just about everything in between.
Yeah, really spectacular conditions, as Andy said there. That was the last clip I was going to show. Somebody requested Typhoon. I haven't been able to dig that out, just because what I'd had prepped, but I have got some, as close as I could get. I'll give you a moment to have a guess about what that might be. I'll just say a few hellos to people who have been chatting away over on YouTube. A couple of people discussing how difficult that display was, and I've absolutely no doubt it was a challenging display to perform. I was lucky enough to do, going on about air-to-air again, but we did an air-to-air shoot with Vincent out in the Czech Republic in September, part of NATO days, and some of the stuff he was pulling off behind the Skyrim was quite dramatic. He's obviously a very, very capable pilot, and yeah, thanks go out to him for making the effort for us. Yeah, Matty, a superb sounding aircraft at high speed. Oh gosh, unfortunately, yeah, okay. Yeah, flown like a Super Hornet. I hear what you're saying. Oh, lots of requests here, so okay. So I said a display like Typhoon, and we've got a guest for F-22. Sadly, this is all from Cosford last year, and alas, we did not get the F-22 at Cosford last year. BBMF, no Tornado. F-35, God, I can't remember whether we had F-35 last year. It's not that. It's not Rafale. Now, someone has got it right. It's the Czechs. It's the Gripen. Yeah, that's right. It was another nice display toward the end of the air show at Cosford. As I say, Cosford 2019. This is the Czech Air Force Gripen. Assuming I've pushed all the buttons correctly whilst that last one was playing, so cross your fingers.
In from the right, at speed, the Czech Air Force Saab Jas-39C Gripen.
A few wobbles there to get us started. Obviously, we were a little surprised by him, perhaps. Starting off with a 4-point roll, classy.
And a rather unusual entry, a 4-point roll to open the show.
I thought so too, Ben. We should get Ben on one of these, shouldn't we? On a live broadcast.
Unlike its predecessor, Swedish fighters, the Draken and the Viggen, this aircraft has achieved substantial export success as well. It's, to some degree, a lower cost alternative to aircraft of its generation like the Rafale and the Typhoon. And this aircraft differs in that it has only a single engine rather than two.
Because of Sweden's tactical position, they have an interesting design philosophy on a lot of their aircraft. They are designed from the bottom up to be deployable, to operate from motorways, from unprepared strips. Engine change on this aircraft can be done by a team of 3 in 1 hour and can be serviced, turned around, rearmed and refueled in very few minutes by crew just working out the back of a truck.
And of course, able to operate in pretty extreme weather conditions as well. Really impressive all round. Of course, the Swedish Air Force is the main Gripen operator, but as well as the Czech Republic, Brazil, Hungary, South Africa and Thailand also fly the aircraft. The Czechs started receiving Gripens in early 2005 on lease from the Gripen International Company. And they've replaced, amongst others, the Czech Air Force's Soviet-era MiG-21s. And the MiG-21 certainly wasn't capable of as slow and as high angle of attack a flight past as this. Not for long. They've been significantly updated. The Czechs have never had an aircraft like the Gripen before that's so capable as a multi-role platform, both air-to-air and air-to-ground. Since the first Czech Gripens arrived, they've maintained a 24-hour-a-day quick reaction alert capability as part of NATO's air defences, and they've taken part in missions like the Baltic and the Icelandic air policing.
Am I the only one that nerds out on how good the weather conditions are at Cosford for this? Just the light on the aircraft, the great paint scheme on the tail, the contrast in the sky. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. You let me know.
Association, the organisation that brings together units from around the Alliance with big cats in their emblems.
I guess if you're a photographer, you appreciate those things as well. But just from a viewer of this stuff, the difference it makes to get a bit of light on the aircraft like we are doing there, and the clouds giving the sense of speed. Anyway, I'll stop going on about it now.
And it's in the hands of Captain Ivo Kardosh. Latest in the line will be the Gripen E and F models, as opposed to this, which is a C, and the corresponding two-seat trainer, the D. It's powered by the same General Electric engine as used in the FA-18 E and F Super Hornet. But for now, an impressive enough machine as it is. And that concludes the display from the Czech Air Force Saab Jas-39C Gripen.
That's quite a display. Let me get back on me. I'm just chatting with someone over on YouTube, Matty, talking about the Harrier, I suppose the last Harrier, yeah, as you say, the downpour at Cosford, right before the display. And yes, I can remember it too, Matty. My socks are still wet. Yeah, it was quite a display, the Gripen. Get rid of that. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's all a bit new to me, producing shows like in this way where we haven't actually got aeroplanes flying around, but since that seems to be the way things are going this year, thought we'd give this a go. Yeah, do let me know in the comment in the live chat now, and in the comments if you're watching this post broadcast, what you made of it. Let me know things that you'd like to see. I've thrown this guy up. Who got me into trouble? Alex. I think you were saying you had 4 kids in the house and this was a nice distraction, to which I responded, yeah, I've got 2 kids in the house, this is a good chance to get away. Message from partner, that was exactly when she tuned in with the little one, so he's now out there. Hope he's enjoying that, and I get fed when I get home. And I should have apologised at the beginning for the sorry state I find myself in this morning. Apparently it's quite easy to forget to shave in the current circumstances, and sadly the makeup department are all working from home, so you've got me as I am. This is fun, please keep it up. Shall do, Chris. Thanks for the comments, and thanks for your moderation. Not much of it today in the chat. We're not looking at the sorts of audience. What's your name, please, says Neil. My name's Ian. My name's Ian from Planes TV. Nice to meet you, Neil, over on Facebook. He really can fly that thing, Neil. You're absolutely right. In fact, Evo, goodness, can I show you this? Oh, I might have to get rid of my my boy. Sorry, son. Let me try and show you. Now, this is a bit of a challenge. This is spur of the moment production stuff, and I should actually be going home and getting stuck in with some of my other responsibilities, but we'll have a go at having a little look at the Gripen and the Czech Gripen and extra display at Ostrava. So this is an extra, and do I mean extra? Yeah, I do. Let me see if I can show you something. Okay, I'm now getting music. It's only on the telly behind me, but you get the gist. So the guys did a whole formation sequence together at the air show. Maybe I'll dig that one out another time, but you know, two types there. It's completely different sort of performance envelopes, but did an incredible job of taking off and landing in formation. Incredible stuff. I'm going to stop that because it's in my earphones and not yours, and it's a bit frustrating. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye. I hope everyone's enjoyed the little live broadcast. As I say, I'm going to try and do this once a week on a Thursday at 4 p.m. I'd like to try and do some at the weekends as well, allowing for my own commitments at weekends. And at the moment, my only commitment is staying indoors and looking after the little ones. So see you at the weekend. All right, guys. So I'm going to say cheerio there. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.